Hi everybody, I'm making this video to spend a little bit more time talking about the course information sheet. So I like to use these quick video clips to convey information. I cannot see myself, so if I pop up in the lower portion of your screen, I apologize. Normally I can see myself, but I can't. So here we go. So what I didn't get to say in class today. A reason to keep this piece of paper is because of my contact information at the top. So I check 2 different types of school email. That's a really great way to get a hold of me. Some other things. So I mentioned the top 10 reasons why you might not want to take forensics, and absence would be one of those things. Working with classmates would be another one of those things. And those are kind of laid out in these student expectations. The other thing that you'll see there, number 2, is just to keep it super simple, that the school rules are my rules. So if you have issues with those things, please let me know. Part of that is the cell phone policy. So I'm kind of expecting you to regulate yourself with respect to when it's a good time and when it's not a good time. And if I see that you're struggling with that, then I'll definitely call your attention to it. So just to remind yourself about what the school cell phone policy is would be a good thing. If you've logged onto the classroom page, then you're already well on your way to understanding this section about online resources. So at the end of every day, I will summarize what we did in class, and I'll put any online resources right on that classroom page. So it's a good thing to check every day, no matter what. It's an especially good thing to check if ever you're absent. So my expectation is that you're checking it when you're not here, and that way you're better able to keep up with the class as we keep moving forward. So what I wanted to spend a little bit more time on is this grading policy. So summative versus formative. And again, those words mean formative is for learning. So any assignment that promotes your learning. And this is a place where I would expect for you to take risks. I would expect for you to not totally focus on, am I right, or grubbing for points. It really is like a learning experience. This is a great category for homework and classwork, but labs can also be formative as we're working to develop your skills. They will be. Quizzes can be formative. So if ever I'm just looking to kind of see where you're at or help you see where you're at, the assignment will be formative. The summative category is meant to measure what you know and what you can do. So this is a great thing for tests and quizzes, but labs, like after we've practiced a lab, a follow-up lab could be summative. Some homework or in-class assignments might be summative as well. The numbers here, as you see these pop up in Vision, these 2 categories, formative assignments will be worth 15% of your overall grade, and summative assignments are worth 85% of your overall grade. So a quick little word about that. I mentioned that you could try that summative again. So if it didn't go so good, you could try it again. And more information about how to do that is at the very end. There's a paragraph called reassessment. So there is a procedure to follow. If you fall below an 85% on a summative, you can try it again if and only if you've completed all of the formative assignments leading up to it. So I know I mentioned, those of you who don't like to do homework, then maybe this is a good thing for you because homework doesn't really carry much value. But homework becomes really important if you're looking to reassess something. So if you're not doing the practice, the daily practice, I'm not going to let you reassess something. If you do the daily practice, if you're keeping up with those formatives, then you can reassess a summative. In addition to doing all the formatives, you have to fill out a form. So the reassessment form, I can show you some examples of that coming up. But it's going to ask you to reflect on why you didn't do so great. And it's going to ask you to commit to doing 3 new things before you try the assessment again. So these 3 new things don't have to be difficult. It could be meeting with me for 5 or 10 minutes. It could be watching some extra videos or doing some extra practice before you try the assessment again. And depending upon what the assessment is, maybe sometimes it's a revision, so you get to make corrections from the first time, or it could be something totally new and totally different. So it just kind of depends on the situation. Okay, so that's what you need to know about that. The other thing here about the late policy, part of the whole distinction between formative and summative is I'm trying to separate out your behavior from what you know and what you're able to do. So one behavior that can maybe affect your grades negatively in other places is turning stuff in late. And I want that summative grade to be a pure measure of what you know and what you can do. So I'm pulling out the behavior of passing stuff in late. So what that means is I will accept late work as long as we're currently working on that topic. If it is formative, if it's for practice, it's kind of not a big deal. If it's a summative assignment, so something that I'm actually grading for accuracy, then I will ask you to fill out a form if you don't have the summative assignment on the day that it's due. So that just helps me to figure out why you're not able to meet the deadline and to kind of clarify what you need to be able to meet the deadline. The other piece here is if you turn in work late, there is not like a 10% deducted for every day late. I will look for, the knowledge and skills that you are presenting, but I am going to cap you at an 85%. So there is that little bonus of making sure that you're meeting deadlines, but I don't want to totally dock you. If you do good work that shows what you know and what you can do, why would you get a 50? That really is a measure of behavior, and not really a measure of what you know and what you can do. But we're still kind of in this middle world, so the maximum grade on late work is an 85%. Check out the blurb about extra credit. I don't do it. So if you ask, I will say, I don't do it. You just need to keep up with what I'm asking you to do every day. And in theory, nobody should get less than an 85%. So if you do all the practice and if you take advantage of reassessments, you would leave forensics easily with an 85%. We'll see how that shakes out in reality. The last thing is I have just some basic information about different categories of assignments. And you're not going to see these categories in Vision. You're going to see formative or summative, and any of them can take on any of those designations. There is a little blurb here too about the final exam, and I mentioned that to you in class. So if you read through and if you agree, then you need to sign and have somebody at home sign. A common question I get at this point in the game is, but I'm 18, do I have to have somebody sign? And the answer is yes, unless you filled out the paperwork with the main office downstairs to be an emancipated minor. So if you are free and clear to be your own person, then sure, you just need to sign, but otherwise somebody at home needs to sign too. Okay, so hopefully that clarifies a bit. If you have further questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I'll be looking forward to seeing you on Monday. Thanks, bye.